Welcome back to the channel. I am combining Wars 11 and 12, putting as many fights as I could. It's going to end up being 8, featuring Doom, Human Torch, Magik, Archangel, and Cosmic Ghost Rider, with a chance for another boss solo. I'm really excited to show you that. All right, we're back, and this is going to be, we're going to go through War 11 first. As you see, this is the buff and balance, return policy, heal block. Really not going to be too much to worry about here. This is going to be a pretty straightforward Archangel fight. I did take him to rank 3 recently. If you've seen the video, I took him to War, and then did, I think, a really nice showcase on Archangel. I know he's an older champion, but seeing him at R3 with the SIG 112, I think is a whole nother animal. And then, of course, we made him a horseman and had a great time with that. I will link it in the description. But mainly what we're going to be doing here is, hopefully baiting her SP1, getting her to throw that, blocking when we can to apply the poisons, and then having to turn those poisons and bleeds into the neurotoxins. And you can just see the massive, massive damage here. So this was a nice little warm up to this war. It's been an interesting war season for me. Got off to a great start, and then the middle just was brutal. I had some personal stuff happen, but the brutalness started before that. So it is what it is. I appreciate my BG leaders and my BG as a whole, and the Alliance as a whole, sticking with me and helping me figure this stuff out. So moving on, and this next fight is this Aegon. I don't recall there being anything too terribly crazy with this node either. There's the heal block, so obviously we don't want to be running suicides, and then when they have the debuff there. But again, this is Archangel. We're even going to have class advantage here. This is a rank 3. So the damage is going to be tremendous. As you see, I was a little late on the punish of the parry there, so in theory he could have hit into me, but this is a rank 3. I'm boosted pretty big here, and not too worried about it. Not too worried about the power drain either, because I don't need to throw specials. Archangel just gets around stuff, as we said here. I did the showcase video on him and showed a lot of nodes you can take, and this is becoming more and more of a thing. I think it's really interesting with Archangel as he moved out of the meta due to bleed and poison immunities coming in, and then the game has evolved into shock and incinerate and cold snap immunities, and then now we're having more and more nodes that screw with your or mess with your power. So not having to throw specials is a big deal. So moving on, and this is a fight. This is one we can all learn from, or at least I can learn from it. Going again against a rank 3 Doom, I was very concerned about this fight because it has spite, meaning anytime I get a buff, and as we know, if you go to your SP3 Fury, Doom is going to get that Fury, which we want for the big damage. And then it's also going to have power from afar. So when I have distance there, he's going to be getting the massive power. I was a little concerned with how to even make this fight work. I talked it through with my Alliance leader. I took a look at his war video. He actually took this fight just recently. So the idea was I was going to be landing 3 heavies with the stagger here, and that was going to push me to my SP3. I mess up the evade on the SP1, and then completely forget that all the hits of that special 2 are unblockable, and by that point I know there's nothing I can do. I'm done. Very frustrating, but it was a learning experience. I went in and did my duels, talked to my BG leader again, and he's like, look, the biggest issue you made there is you left yourself open. After that first SP1, it is what it is, no big deal, you survived it. But then you left yourself open, meaning the IA interprets that as the ability to throw their SP2. So you're going to want to be holding blocks. So, all right, healed back up. Going in, this was a pretty tight war, landing my second. And then you see how we're holding block there. And sure enough, he was correct. The AI just immediately started coming in to try to attack. They did not seem tempted at all to throw their special. So we got around that. And then now it's a Doom fight. Now I feel very comfortable and confident with this. I do have a miss up here. I do instead of doing medium, light, 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 medium, medium, which would have got my power more where I needed it to be to continue this. I went in with a medium, 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 light, 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 medium. And then there was that small little window there. It worked out, and I had been used to doing it that way, so it didn't really startle me or cause me concern in the fight. But of course, I think that is a better way to do it. I talked with my alliance leader, B. Manny, about it, and he explained it to me a little bit better. And so I really did see how it could work out there. So again, here he was at the 2 bars of power. That could have gotten bad too, but he had held the block. He went in for the heavy, and I was able to just move away. So I think just by being used to playing Doom this way, I was not concerned. That being said, you can always improve. And so I was happy to get those tips, and then now I'm implementing it into my Doom play, and I'm just seeing like it is better. It just is. There's really not. I don't think anyone could really argue it. So moving into this node, this is this aspect of evolution, kinetic transference. We're going to really be wanting to power control Apocalypse once we can get that lock on, and this is something we've been working on even since last season, right? I think I did have a death on this node. Or at least a couple of very close fights, and we've been learning about using Magik. So I'm going to start with the SP1, and I'm just going to let him hit me, whether I start in limbo or not, because that is going to help me gain my power. And now with kinetic transference, I missed the first parry there, but because I know how to reparry now, I've learned that I was able to land the parry on the second hit, and now I've got the power lock on. And this was the only fight I was going to take with Magik. This was a very close war, if I recall correctly, and so. Even if it wasn't the only fight I was going to take with Magik, I'm just going to play it real conservatively. There's no reason for me to try straight backdrafts or anything like that. I can just go in and do my nice little 4-hit combo, pull him back. I just didn't really see a reason to do anything aside from that. I could tell I was in plenty control of the fight. It was going to have more than enough damage to get it done, and I was comfortable with this. So I just kind of finished it off without any wall intercepts or heavying at the wall or anything like that. That you obviously could do, but I was choosing not to. So. And coming in here, I think this SP2 is going to end it. So overall, I was pretty happy. You know, I came to this alliance knowing that there would be mistakes and there'd be things to learn, and I was happy. I was happy that I had that death, and then was able to kind of quickly get back on it. So now we're moving into our next war, the last war of the season. Here with this fight against Dragon Man, it is the strike counter. But mainly what I'm going to be doing is just wanting to make sure I parry him when he has that power gain buff. I'm not sure exactly what they call it, because that's what cancels that out. And then I'm going to let him hit into my block as much as possible here. So he's really good at doing that with his specials. They cover so much ground. He's just going to be hitting into me. And so my temperature and smolders are rising, which is just going to increase my damage and the damage of, excuse me, of the incinerates here. And yeah, he's going to go down. He's otherwise, I think, pretty tough defender. But when you're able to take in a Human Torch, and of course, when you're able to stun him, you know, it's not as bad. Plus, that was a 5-star. But so anyway, so that was, I think, a pretty good version of that fight. And I wasn't really too concerned about my power. I did pay some attention to the charges. And we're going to have a similar situation here, moving on to the Sentry with the strike counter. I'm going to pay a little bit of attention to it, but I'm using Archangel. And I'm really going to be looking more at the brute force, if anything else, trying to make sure I'm hitting Sentry frequently. But as long as I'm landing my heavies, I'm not too concerned about it. I know Archangel will do plenty of damage and get this fight over with. It is a rank 3, so he's a little beefy. So I don't want to be too careless, but not really worried about it either. Trying to work with the strike counter there. That's why you see me not doing just straight parry heavy. You know, there's no reason to give him, I think this was the Fury lane. Yeah, so it's the Fury. There's no reason to give him more of those if I don't need to. So that's why I'm throwing the SP1-2 to reset the charges. But as you can see, we're 30 seconds into this fight, and I've already got 5 neuros on him. So I think he's going to be down in the next 5 seconds here. Yep. So not too bad, right? And that's what Archangel can do for you. I couldn't be more happy with how that opening worked out and getting the Mutant Awakening gem. And the guy can do so much. I can't speak highly enough of him. So this fight had me a little bit concerned. I have never taken this node before in War. And so I think experience is the best teacher, at least for me. But this was the, sorry for this back and forth. I'm not going to be able to get it. But this was the, I think it's called like One Eye Open, and then there's a stun. I can't think what the term is. But basically, I decided to go and just play her stun immune. You see the little red debuff there. And when that's done, I should be able to stun her. But I just was going to let her hit into my block. I did my duel, so I had the heavy into her heavy down. See, and I noticed that she even has like a little pause there where she kind of resets from her heavy. See, there it is again. And so I knew that even if I got the spacing a little bit off, it wasn't going to be the end of the world. Plus, with her being a mystic, I could let her beat on me, and it's just going to do good things for me. It's actually going to help me out, as you see there. And so I was more just concerned because I had not taken the fight before, more than I thought this was going to be an overly difficult fight. So rank 3 Human Torch doing what he is supposed to do against Mystics. So at this point, this war was extremely close. I think it was 2-1. And, pride was on the line. I think we were both shooting for what was ultimately, we were pretty confident it was going to be 4th place. They were in 5th, and I think we were in 4th, or vice versa. And my BG tends to move things through quickly. We tend to move through fast and be ready for that first day. Now, I had gotten a chance to fight Killmonger, and I've said it in a previous video, I actually did not solo him in the first time through. It was my first boss attempt in what felt like years. And it didn't go well. It didn't go my way, and I was really disappointed about that because I should have this down. And then just a couple wars ago, I got the solo. So I felt very confident going to this fight. I was not concerned at all. And my plan was, I did remove dexterity just to be extra safe. My plan was, if I get an intercept early, or if he is aggressive and I'm pushing him back, I'm going to go ahead and just go to the SP3. I'm going to go to the SP3, get the Big Fury, and do it that way. The previous war, I just went to the SP2 and then the SP3. And about here, in fact, it was a little earlier in this fight, I got the interception, felt good, and my thumb was just sticking. There was nothing I could do about it. And so I realized this was going to be a bit more of a struggle than I had wanted. This was not going to be as easy as I knew it could be. But ultimately, if I stay calm, I'm going to be fine. I know the damage is going to be there. I'm aware that he has gone indestructible because of the, it's not a true evade, but the missing there. And again, I'm like, just stay calm. It's no big deal. I know how to do this fight. The worst thing that happens is it takes me an extra minute. The damage will be there. The block proficiency is there. So as you can see, I'm just baiting these heavies, and I'm going to use it as an opportunity to go in. I've now triggered the power gain, so I'm getting up to the 2 bars. And then he went indestructible, so I need to get that off of him. Same thing here. And I'm about to lose the Fury. But again, no big deal. I know that I don't need that to win this fight. The point isn't to finish it in a minute or a minute and a half, which is fun. Don't get me wrong. The point is to get the solo. So reset that, reset the judgments here. The armor breaks are building up regardless. So we're at 12, and you're about to see what Cosmic Ghost Rider, what this guy can do. It is beautiful. For me, this was such a wonderful way to end this season. Look at those numbers. Think about how much life was on this boss at the beginning here. So the armor breaks are stacking up. I just stayed calm. Sure, my thumb was sticking. What am I going to do? Not much I can do about it. And it just felt good. It felt good. I was celebrating. My BG was celebrating. We had a wonderful performance. I think we only had 1 death. And so we managed to preserve the lead for ourselves. We ultimately did win this war, and we ended up in 4th place, which it felt good. I still have yet to place top 3 myself. I've come in 4th. I don't even know how many times over the years now. So hopefully next season I can help for Loki, get into the top 3. The definitely top 3 quality alliance, definitely top 3 talent there. I hope you either learned something, were entertained, or even better, a little bit of both. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow on Twitter at VegaGaming583. Thanks so much for watching. Take care.